here's something I'm very excited to finally do a video on because it's something that I really wanted to put on my blaster, but couldn't until I could shoot the video, and then I need to actually prep the blaster for all this stuff and everything. But enough talk, have at thee. I am going to be talking about a very, very, very special cosmetic kit that is going to answer some questions and might discourage some of you and might absolutely make some of you froth at the mouth. But I'm just going to kind of put parts in the middle of the table here. We'll see if you can guess what's going on here. That's quite a weird collection of parts, and, well, it looks vaguely similar to something, almost, scarily like something that we probably know and love. And if you said something from, like, Titanfall or Destiny, you're not too far off, because this is a kit for the NERF Retaliator that essentially turns it into a bolt-action sniper rifle, but it turns it into a very specific sniper rifle. The overall shape and details are, well, the AWP from Counter-Strike, and this one specifically is molded up to look like the ASIIMOV version of the AWP, which is, of course, one of the frickin' most popular dang guns in the game. Or at least it was when I played. I haven't played Counter-Strike Go in a while because I don't know, it's not 1.6, and I really liked 1.6. But this is a full 3D printed kit that was sent to me from NFstrike.com. I'm really, really appreciative of them sending me this thing. And the maker of the actual kit is, that. I don't do Chinese or anything, so I don't know what the actual maker of that kit, but NF Strike sells it on their website, and they sell it, and it's 3D printed, and let's go over that really quick before we actually slap this on a blaster. Again, 3D printed kit. There's a lot to be said there, because looking at this thing, and myself owning a 3D printer, there is a lot of freaking crap on this. Like, no joke. Just this piece right here makes my printer quiver in fear. Now, not that it can't handle something this big, but this is solid as all heck. It's very heavy. Very, very heavy. I doubt dropping this would break this, because it feels like it was almost printed at 100% infill, if it actually already wasn't. And these pieces all kind of slide on, and they were already screwed together, and there's beautiful color separation and some nice details right here. There's a rail right there, because it doesn't come with a bipod, and it really should, because the AWP has a bipod, and kind of looks weird without having the bipod, but they never use the bipod in the game, so who cares anyway? I don't know. But this is really freaking solid. The print quality is actually pretty darn amazing. In fact, this piece right here is nearly flawless. It does still, of course, have some kind of ribbing, but it's not that bad on this whatsoever. I wish I could say the same for all of the pieces, because there are some that have some issues. I'll just take the biggest offender right out. This is the barrel. Now, I've watched Syke's video, which he got his hands on a Recon yellow one, which was freaking cool, and I chose the white one, because, of course, it looks like the ASIIMOV version, but Syke said his barrel was bent. This one is not. However, looking at this piece, there is a lot more rough detail on it. Definitely some issue. I'm assuming this was printed like this, so their Z-axis has got some, minor issues. It doesn't kill the kit at all or anything like that, but it's a lot more apparent. Looking at the stock, there are a couple of places, especially on the edges right here, where it's a bit more rough, but other places, it goes from really good quality to about what you would expect. Again, it's really hard to get all these kinds of curves and everything like that, but some of these are just really rough. Not that it really matters, because again, 3D printed kit, and I haven't even told you what the price is yet. And of course, we've got the scope, which is like a one-to-one replica of the one from the actual game. Now, this is just a cosmetic piece. You can, in fact, view through it, and it does have a crosshair in there, but it is just cosmetic. There's no magnification or anything in it, which is kind of a bummer. I wonder if there's a way to put some kind of magnification in it, just for giggles. Then you've got this right here, which is going to attach to your existing priming slide on your Retaliator, which means this kit doesn't require any kind of external modification to your blaster whatsoever. It's kind of just a bolt-on kit. And the actual bolt itself, which is how you're going to prime the freaking blaster. Oh, this is going to be so much fun. There's also a hardware kit that comes with it. The bag I had with all this stuff The bag had a hole in it, all the hardware was all over the place, and when I opened it up, all the hardware went everywhere. I'm probably missing screws, and hopefully that doesn't make me destroy this thing trying to put it together, because some of these screws are from the actual Retaliator itself, but you can kind of get what we're talking about here. What is this kit and what isn't it? It is a beautiful 3D printed cosmetic kit that will give you a near perfect replica, at least silhouette-wise, of the AWP from Counter-Strike in whatever color you choose. This is not perfect to the ASIIMOV in-game, it's obviously missing details. This black isn't mostly here, there's a little bit of it, but not much. It's not one-to-one, but it's very, very, very close. It isn't something you're going to put on your kit if you have like a 12 kilogram spring and like an extended plunger tube and you want to hit people from 200 FPS away with your overhauled Retaliator, because as you can tell, even though this is a very reinforced part, I can already guarantee you, in fact I've seen a video on it already, that this is not strong enough, especially since it's kind of an indirect prime, since you're going to be pulling kind of like this. It's not capable of handling any kind of excessive spring loads. This is mostly a cosmetic kit. Now, I forget the person, I don't even have the picture on it, but I did see a post on Nerf Modders Welcome on Facebook where somebody had reinforced all this stuff and made it work. And if that's something you want to do, that's certainly something you can do. I won't be covering that because apparently I'm just, well, obviously I'm not that talented, but it is something I will consider in the future, you know, just kind of cutting out aluminum strips and stuff like that and reinforcing the crap out of everything. This piece right here, this is what really upsets me. This is the part that slides against everything, and it is by far the worst quality of the parts, which means it's gonna make a really, really bad noise. It is very, very bad. And I would hope that this would have the same quality as something like this, and it don't. And that's a little frustrating, but whatever. Again, if you're buying this kit, which will cost you anywhere around like 110 bucks on AmmoStrike.com, it can be anywhere from 95 to 114 depending on what day and what color and if you had your breakfast that morning and if you brushed your teeth the night before. All of those have an impact on how this thing actually costs. But again, anywhere from like 95 to 114 bucks, which for what you're getting and the quality of the pieces, and it's a very good deal. In my opinion, because of how very well made these pieces are and what they're selling it for, I think that's a pretty generous idea. I know you could probably, since, you know, NF Strike is just a reseller, that you could probably get these somewhere else, but NF Strike has been the easiest way I've seen to get stuff off of, you know, where you can't normally get this kind of stuff, especially off of like Amazon and eBay and stuff like that. I haven't seen this on those sites yet, but man, I am very excited to finally put this on my Retaliator. And that is my Retaliator. Get out of here, box. We don't need you. This is the Retaliator that I got halfway through painting and kind of just gave up on. Hopefully it still works. But of course, I didn't have a good working white Retaliator, and even if I did, it would have blue and stuff all over it, which would kind of ruin the aesthetics. So I took to painting a Retaliator a little bit. We got some orange in there, kind of make it look more like the one. I should make that pop out with some orange, but when I tried to hand paint stuff, I got really frustrated because hand painting sucks, especially when you have bad brushes and whatnot. And the grip is Plastadipped, which feels absolutely amazing, and I need to do that way more often with all of my grips. And I'm very happy with how this turns out, and yes, it does in fact work. Well, the dart flew past me. And I did change the internals a little bit. I forgot to put the jam door in, so we might as well just abuse that. I did change the internals to have the standard dart, oh, there we go. The standard dart Retaliator worker kit, just replaced all of it because the stuff that was in here was absolutely grody. There's sand and everything in here. I just didn't want to mess with it. So I just completely replaced it. And this kit is supposed to bolt on right to this thing, no problem whatsoever, and I have not done that yet, and hopefully I get that done without breaking anything. But enough talk, we need to get this thing on this blaster because I need to fire this thing. it almost feels like I should have started with this piece. And I really don't want to break this white plastic, but it doesn't seem to want to go on any normal way. Pretty sure that's supposed to go farther up, but it obviously can't. Maybe I have to cut out these, which I didn't even consider. So you can tell what side this is supposed to go in on, because obviously, yeah, those holes match up. So this actually goes on the slide, and from what I've seen, you cannot, I don't have an assembly guide for this, so I'm just kind of doing this myself, but you have to remove the little backstops for scopes that you would put on your Retaliator, but once you do that, ow, I'm really, really worried about breaking this. There we go, that took a bit of force. Was very scary. Man, you have to have this off in order to keep doing this. Yeah, you have to have that on and ready, it seems. No, no. Okay, no you don't. All right. It's time to revisit that question of what this thing is and is not. Is it an absolutely awesome looking cosmetic Nerf sniper rifle? Yes, this thing is possibly one of the coolest things I have ever seen. It looks absolutely fantastic from beginning to end with beautiful color separation, good details, a very iconic silhouette, which is extremely close to the actual AWP from Counter-Strike, and with the colors they have going on here, it's obviously supposed to be an ASIIMOV one. This is phenomenal. Yes, if you don't have like kind of a painted Retaliator in the middle, it looks a little less awesome because they have the blue and all this weird stuff on it. But it still looks really good as a drop-in kit, with the only modification that you apparently have to do is cutting out the notches on the slide. That being said, is it actually a Nerf sniper rifle? No. Far from it, this is actually one of the worst performing blasters I have now. We're getting stock end strike ranges at this point. And that's with an upgraded spring and completely brand new internals. And that's not the problem with the internals or the spring, but the fact that this thing has a stupidly long barrel that makes the long strike look dumb, and this priming mechanism. Now, again, this has like a 5 kilogram Orange Modwork spring in it. Nothing crazy, and the performance is... I think that Spider-Man, like, Homecoming wrist blaster shot better than this thing. And I can remove the barrel and get a little bit better performance out of it, but still. The biggest problem is, of course, since you're priming this thing using this bolt right here, all of the force priming it is put on that bolt. And since these are 3D printed parts and the tolerances aren't exactly perfect, if you have a modified spring in there, it tends to get caught. It can catch, it can cease to work, which is kind of annoying. Even like trying to push it together right now, I have to kind of finagle it back into place and lock it down, which you don't have to lock it down, but it's cool to do it. It's an interesting mechanism, but on a Springer, it's not going to work. And having it on a flywheeler, a little more cool, you could give credence to the point of actually putting some kind of strife internals in this at some point. Not terrible as an idea, but definitely not the best way to go about it. Probably the best thing to do, if you really wanted this to be a sniper rifle, and I'm using that like I have no idea what the word actually means, HPA. This is the one thing that makes me wish I had an HP setup, because if you had, you know, your regulators and hose coming out of here and, you know, thing right there and paintball tank on your back or whatever, this thing would be amazing. This thing would work so much better. You have plenty of barrel length to hide, like, you know, an aluminum, brass, whatever kind of barrel in there to actually give you stability for your darts. And, of course, then you wouldn't have to worry about any kind of spring tension back here. You would just be chambering a dart with the bolt and then, of course, pulling the trigger to fire. It could be semi-auto if you wanted, but why stop there? Why not have it full auto? Of course, you could put something like a XBZ tank or something in here, but then you'd have to have a pump somewhere, and you could put a pump down underneath this thing, and you could certainly do that, but you'd ruin the silhouette. You could do it. I don't know if I would, but you can. Pump, hose, it's possible, but this thing needs an HPA setup. Something I don't have, something I'm sure somebody has already done or is working towards doing, and it really makes me want that HPA setup, but the performance is god-awful. But it looks cool, and I think that's the most important part about this entire blaster, is that it looks cool. And I'm forever going to love this thing. I have been playing Counter-Strike since I was a wee lad. And this brings back some memories. Obviously not in this color scheme, but ops, man. Let me know what you think about this thing down in the comment section below. Did I miss something about this? Is there some other mod idea I'm just not considering at the moment? Well, post it down in the comment section because I'd love to hear about it, because maybe I'll steal it and then do a mod on it, then make a video and give you a shout out. That would always be awesome. But otherwise, well, look forward to this thing being in the background of my videos, or maybe I'll have some other use for it in the future, but it is darn cool. I'm Walcom S7, thank you so much for watching this video, and of course, I hope to see you in an entirely different one.
You are not my cat, but you are a cute cat. What you doing?